Good morning. Good morning. 10 seconds, Adam. And good Tuesday morning to you. It is Tuesday, June 18th. It is 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Newcastle. Currently, it is 56 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 87 degrees. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report. Paul McCartney's birthday today, so naturally, Natch, Hey Jude, has to be played. All right. Parks and big trucks, trucks with family, trucks and family swim. It's Saturday, July 20th, 4 to 6 p.m. There's going to be some big trucks and more. This is a free event at Recreation Park and Sierra Pool. You can find out more at auburnrec.com. That's auburnrec.com. There's going to be a fire truck. There's going to be the CAL FIRE helicopter. There's going to be construction trucks, cement trucks, ambulances, garbage trucks, bulldozers, and my favorite, food trucks. You can do this when you Angie that. Sunshine Day. Anything planned? Nope. And streaming all in the world at KAHI.com. 16 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:16 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar here. This one's a little ways out, so there's plenty of time to plan for it. Parks and big trucks. It's trucks and family swim. I don't know that I would ever think to put these two things together, but somebody did, and there's an event happening on July 20th. That's from 4 to 6 p.m. It's a Saturday, by the way, not a Thursday or a Wednesday. It's a Saturday, July 20th. Explore and touch every truck. So this is, I think it's more for the littler kids, but listen, let's be honest. Big kids, you want to see the trucks as well. And the last truck that I'm going to mention is my favorite truck here. So what are they going to be? There's going to be a fire truck. There's going to be a police truck. There's going to be the CAL FIRE helicopter. There's going to be construction trucks, cement trucks, ambulances, garbage trucks, bulldozers, tow trucks, and my personal favorite, food trucks are going to be there. So you don't want to miss this. Bring the little ones, bring the kiddos, bring the grandkiddos. Saturday, July 20th, it's going to be at Rec Park at 123 Recreation Drive and at the Sierra Pool. So you can swim, then you can go and check out all the trucks and everything. It's free. You can find out more at auburnrec.com. That's auburnrec.com. Again, it's parks and big trucks, trucks and family swim. That's going to be Saturday, July 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. Check it out at auburnrec.com. Back with more right after this. But surprisingly. BigMountainAir.com. 18 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, sports ball. The NBA season has wrapped up. I'll let you know the exciting conclusion there. Also, major leagues and the NHL. Are you into the hockey, into the Stanley Cup? That's happening tonight. In the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to have the Meddlers meeting, as we do on Tuesdays during the 7 o'clock hour. And then at 8 o'clock, at about 8:14, Tuesday trainer tip from Brad at CAC Fit. Back with more after this. It's that same lady as yesterday. Wearing the same clothes.
4-year-old brother was shot in the leg, and the boy's mother was hit in the abdomen and leg during a random attack in Rochester Hills. It was one of at least 4 mass shootings in the U.S. on Saturday. At the head, he's made amazing progress. Really would be an understatement. 3 things that no family should ever have to face. You've got a family of 4, 3 are in the hospital. But the beauty sometimes of youth is they've got strength and resilience in their little bodies. He seems to be doing well. We recovered a 9mm handgun, a Glock Model 43 semi-automatic. We've accounted for 36 casings on scene, so 36 shots fired. It appears he had been musing about different things, saying, shut your phone off, we're being watched, they are listening to us, walking around the house with weapons, talking about them listening to him, and talking
all right.
about how the government was...
Sports ball.
Michael Nash fired as many as 36 times Saturday.
Coming up next.
Subsequently went home to Shelby Township, where he killed himself.
Tuesday.
Hard to pin down.
A's play Kansas City Royals today. They traveled yesterday. All right. Here we go.
And the Catholic all-boys elementary school. Parents rushed to the area to pick up their children. Detective Sergeant Al Bartlett said the man and woman who were killed worked together in what he described as transaction business.
Approximately 3:25 p.m. We received a call for service in relation to sound of gunshots. Officers attended quite quickly. They entered the premises behind me, where they located 3 individuals. I'm not going to be identifying the individuals any further, other than to say they're 3 adults, 2 males, and 1 female. The individual responsible for the shooting is among the deceased. I'm going to acknowledge that behind me there's also a daycare and a school. As I'm sure many of you are aware, there was a period of a lockdown here. Our emergency task force officers attended to ensure public safety.
Bartlett said no child was injured. He said there was no access within the building between the daycare center and the business. Relief parents were seen hugging their children tight after they reunited just outside the police take on St. George Mini School daycare. South Korean soldiers fired warning shots to repel North Korean soldiers who temporarily crossed the rival's land border Tuesday for the 2nd time this month. The South military observed increased North Korean construction activities along their heavily armed border to install suspected anti-tank barriers, reinforce roads, and plant landmines. The work has gone on uninterrupted, despite several explosions caused by mines that killed or injured an unspecified number of North Korean soldiers. That's according to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff. According to the Joint Chiefs, around 20 to 30 North Korean soldiers, while engaging unspecified construction work, briefly crossed the line. Russian President Vladimir Putin thanked North Korea for supporting his actions in Ukraine and said their countries will cooperate closely to overcome U.S.-led sanctions as he headed to Pyongyang Tuesday for a summit with Kim Jong-un. Putin's comments appeared in an op-ed in North Korean state media hours before he was expected to arrive in North Korea for a 2-day visit as the countries deepen their alignment in the face of separate, intensifying confrontations with Washington. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby
Yeah, look, I'm surprised that he went to North Korea after his so-called election. A real nail biter that was. He was going to go on a little bit of a charm offensive here, and that's what he appears to be doing. We're not concerned about the trip. What we are concerned about is the deepening relationship between these two countries. Not just because of the impact it's going to have on the Ukrainian people, because we know North Korean ballistic missiles are still being used to hit Ukrainian targets, but because there could be some reciprocity here that could affect security on the Korean Peninsula. Now, we haven't seen the parameters of all that right now. Certainly haven't seen it come to fruition, but we're certainly going to be watching that very, very closely.
Putin said he highly appreciates North Korea's firm support of his invasion of Ukraine. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the U.S. is not concerned about Russia's threats of retaliation as Ukraine's allies move forward with using seized Russian assets to fund Ukraine amid Russia's invasion. Yellen told CBS's Face the Nation it is not that, despite what Putin claims.
Right after Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine, the United States and our global coalition partners decided to freeze, to impound Russian sovereign assets in our jurisdiction. And that amounted to around $280 billion. And of that, the vast majority, around $200 billion, are sitting in the Belgian financial institution where they're generating income that does not belong to Russia and had been accruing to that institution. And we've agreed, the G7 and our partners have agreed to tap the value of that stream to provide a $50 billion loan to Ukraine that will be paid from those so-called windfall profits that are accruing in this financial institution. So we're really building on work that Europe did earlier to make sure that the flow around $3 to $5 billion a year went to Ukraine. But we're bringing that forward by making a loan that will be repaid over time. There's no sense at all in which it's that the Russian assets remain in the institution. They've been impounded. The investments that Russia had have matured. So Russia's funds are sitting in cash, but they're generating income for the institution, which Russia has no claim on.
The agreement marks a significant achievement for President Joe Biden, with the U.S. spearheading the effort to get Ukraine supporters to agree on seizing Russian assets to support Kyiv and counter Putin. Now, the Surgeon General has called on Congress to require warning labels on social media platforms and their effects on young people's lives, similar to those now mandatory on cigarette boxes. In a Monday op-ed in the New York Times, Dr. Vivek Murthy said that social media is a contributing factor in the mental health crisis among young people, saying, quote, "It's time to require a Surgeon General's warning label on social media platforms, stating that social media is associated with significant mental health harms for adolescents. The Surgeon General's warning label, which requires congressional action, would regularly remind parents and adolescents that social media has not been proven safe." And happening today, U.S. lawmakers are expected to press Boeing's chief executive about the company's plan to fix its manufacturing problems, and relatives of people who died in two crashes of Boeing 737 MAX jetliners plan to be in the room. CEO David Calhoun is scheduled to appear before the Senate Investigation Subcommittee, chaired by Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Boeing critic. It marks the first appearance before Congress by Calhoun or any high-ranking Boeing official since a panel blew out the 737 MAX during Alaska Airlines flight in January. The National Transportation Safety Board and FAA are conducting separate probes. More on the way on this Tuesday morning. We are just getting started. Grab the coffee. Let's go. You've got America's First News.
America's First News will be right back.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Nick. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. Totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron and Annie in the Car Doctor. your automotive prescription right after this.
There we go.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with hot shots.
Hey, Jude.
The solution to maximize range is
No.
especially formulated with don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shots Secret Gas
Forest Hill.
and go further on each tank. Order now on
Extreme.
Powered by science.
Today's motor vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV,
No. Hey, Jude. It's lap number 2. I predict she's going to do 4.
And the reason for this is not just due to the octane rating. There are better fuel system cleaners in premium fuels. Gasoline companies know to be.
All right, here we go. Sports ball. Starting on the hardwood.
Their premium fuels than their regular blend. If you rotate your fuel choices around, say every third tank full,
Hey, Jude.
just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon.
7 seconds, Adam. Oh.
See you next time.
And good Tuesday morning to you. It is Tuesday, June 18th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently, it is 57 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today. Very nice, 78 degrees out there. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get into it. Let's get into the hardwood here. The basketball for the last time for this season anyway. Celtics versus the Mavericks. The Celtics wrap up the NBA Finals there. Say goodnight, everybody. They win that one 106-88. They win that series in 5, 4-1 over the Mavericks. All right. So long basketball season. We'll see you again in a few months. Oilers versus the Panthers. Who the heck or where the heck are those? That's the Stanley Cup Finals. That is happening. There's Game 5 is happening tonight at 5 p.m. You can see that on ABC or ESPN Plus if that's something you're interested in. Do you like the hockey? It's Game 5. Florida leads that series 3-1. Heading over to the majors, the A's did not play yesterday. Yesterday was a travel day. They're coming back home. They're going to host the Kansas City Royals. Starting tonight, we're going to hear the pregame here on KAHI starting at 6 o'clock, and then the first pitch will be at 6:40 p.m. So another evening baseball game on the radio in the evenings on these long evenings. Gotta love it. Nothing better than that. Kansas City Royals and the A's, they're being hosting the Royals at home here. Again, radio start time today is 6 o'clock. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Giants versus the Cubbies. Giants squeak out a win there. They're on top there, 7-6. Dodgers versus the Rockies. No, Dodgers win that 9-5. Brewers versus the Angels. Angels on top there, 5-3. Padres versus the Phillies. Phillies decisively run away with that one, 9-2. Back with more right after this. All right, Timmy, you're up.
Forget about paying the interest for 1 year. Why limit your choices? At Naturewood, it's all about choices. Celebrate Independence Day with fabulous new furniture. Naturewood Home Furnishings at Highway 50.
A new commercial. That's great.
Look for the building with the water wheel. Tell them Brooklyn, Elvin, Orion sent you.
Good morning. Forecast for your Tuesday. It'll be warm today in the mid-80s, mostly sunny skies. Looks like a west wind about 10. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 53 to 59 for the low with light winds. Warm and sunny for Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny in the mid-to 80s. Thursday is the first day of summer. It'll be hot in the low 90s Friday.
First day of summer on Thursday. That's cool.
This is meteorologist Tim Ray.
From FM 104.5 and AM 950 KI.
I'm Frederick Gray, the host of Radio Law Talk, the most exciting, entertaining, and sometimes informative radio show on earth. Listen to us live.
Hey there, KI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the Morning every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
Remember, that's Radio Law Talk, live, 9 to noon every Saturday, right here on KAHI, AM and FM, the voice of the football.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the Morning, along with Matt Ray and America's First News. Get all the local news.
Weather, traffic, and a handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes in the morning. Ray, Section 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Thanks, producer Adam. That was nice of you to cut that little commercial there. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your California Ag Report. We're going to cut it short there because we're going to go to the Meddlers meeting at 7 o'clock, as we do on Tuesdays during the 7 o'clock hour. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, it's your Tuesday training tip from Brad at CAC Fit. Off to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. All right. Another event. Let's talk about the 37th Annual Sierra Storytelling Festival. The 37th Annual Sierra Storytelling Festival, that's going to be when?
In Ukraine, Russian forces have raped women in occupied territories. In Iraq,
Friday, June 28th. Friday, June 28th. Friday, June 28th, the 37th Annual Sierra Storytelling Festival. It's going to be at the North Columbia Schoolhouse Cultural Center in Nevada City. You can find out more and get your tickets at sierrastorytellingfestival.org. Age range, it's for all ages, called the Queen of Storytelling Festivals. The 37th Annual Sierra Storytelling Festival will be held the last weekend in June 28th and 29th on Friday and Saturday. It kicks off with a thought-stirring workshop at 1 p.m. and concludes with Happy Hearts, Faith in Humanity, and Full Souls on Saturday night. The festival provides opportunities for the amateur to tell, for children to be delighted, for some of the best national circuit tellers to share with their treasured audience. If you enjoy listening to a good story, this event is for you. Our storytellers will entertain listeners of all ages from tales from around the world and close to home. Bring friends and family and picnic. Bring friends and family and picnic on the lawn. Slow down, turn off the phone, and soak in the stories of world-class tellers, featured tellers, world-class tellers. Again, you can find out more at sierrastorytellingfestival.org, sierrastorytellingfestival.org. Back with more after this. All right, and off to record the news.
Tens of thousands of Maryland convicted of misdemeanors. Some may have had more than one conviction pardoned through the process.
We know that legalization does not turn back the clock on decades of harm that was caused by this war on drugs. Legalization does not erase the fact that nearly half of all drug arrests in Maryland during the early 2000s were for cannabis. It doesn't erase the fact that Black Marylanders were 3 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis than white Marylanders before legalization. It doesn't erase the fact that having a conviction on your record means a harder time with everything. Everything. From housing to employment to education. It doesn't erase the fact that people who were arrested for cannabis 3 or 4 or 40 years ago still have those convictions on their records to this day. We cannot celebrate the benefits of legalization if we do not address the consequences of criminalization.
Though the pardons will not result in anyone being released from incarceration, and nor will they result in having past convictions automatically expunged from a person's background check, advocates praised the move as a way of removing barriers to housing, employment, or educational opportunities based on convictions for conduct that's no longer illegal. The governor's order also directs the state corrections department to develop a process that indicate a pardon in individual's criminal record, a process expected to take about 10 months to complete. President Joe Biden's re-election campaign is spending $50 million through the end of June, a blitz that includes its first TV ad trumpeting Donald Trump's felony conviction and signals that the Democratic incumbent is seeking to make his Republican opponent's legal woes a bigger issue heading to November. The advertising push comes with Election Day still months away, but Biden's campaign says it wants to more clearly define the choice between the candidates ahead of the first debate between them in Atlanta next week. The ad campaign includes more than $1 million geared toward media research of Black, Hispanic, and Asian American voters in a spot highlighting Trump's conviction on 34 felony counts in a New York hush money case. Turning to sports this morning, and Jason Tatum had 31 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds, and the Celtics topped the Dallas Mavericks 106-88 Monday night to win the franchise's 18th championship, breaking the tie with the LA Lakers for the most in league history. Boston earned its latest title on the 16th anniversary of hosting its last Larry O'Brien Trophy in 2008. That marks the 13th championship won this century, among the city's big 4 professional sports franchises. Jaylen Brown added 21 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists, and was voted NBA Finals MVP.
What does holding this trophy mean to you?
It was a full team effort, and I shared this with my brothers and my partner in crime, Jason Tatum. He was with me the whole way, so we shared this shit together.
You said that what's been different about your game this season is that you let go of all of the anxieties, all the doubts. First of all, you're a superstar, so no one really have any anxieties or doubts. But how were you able to do that to unlock your game, as you put it?
Just my faith in the Most High, just believing in my teammates, my coaching staff, and just being grateful. I've been grateful for every moment, every opportunity. I never held my head. I don't care. I don't give a what nobody got to say. We come out and we play basketball. Excuse my language.
Brown making the remarks to ESPN's Lisa Salters. Brown and Tatum played their 107th career playoff game together, the most for any duo before winning a title.
Jason, just what's it feel like to finally be a champion?
Oh my God. It's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it! Oh my God, we did it!
So much emotion. We saw you feeling it all when you came out of the game. Just can you try to describe just what you were feeling?
To put me in positions to maximize my God-given ability to surround me with these guys, my family. This is an incredible feeling. I'm lost for words. I'm sorry.
Luka Doncic finished with 28 points and 12 boards for Dallas, which failed to extend the series after avoiding a sweep with a 38-point win in Game 4. Kyrie Irving finished with just 15 points on 5 of 16 shooting and has lost 13 of the last 14 meetings against the Celtics team he left in the summer of 2019 to join the Brooklyn Nets. He believes better days are ahead for this Mavericks squad.
That's what's positive note that we can take from this series. Just how far we made it, and how proud of it I am of the guys, and we answered a lot of questions this year on what we were capable of doing, and now it's just about being consistent. I think probably in the last week I said that I wanted to be remembered as one of the best teams of this era. The last 2 champions have been a new one each and every year, so I see an opportunity for us to really build our future in a positive manner where this is almost like a regular thing for us, and we're competing for championships. And I think from a spiritual standpoint, I think I enjoyed this journey more than any other season, just because of the redemption arc and being able to learn as much as I did about myself and my teammates and the organization and people that I'm around. It's a lot of good people here, so it makes coming to work a lot of fun. And when you have that type of environment, I think it's easy to achieve goals that are bigger than yourself because everyone's really dialed in and having a good sense of joy about them.
Boston coach Joe Mazzulla, in his second season at age 35, became the youngest coach since Bill Russell in 1969 to lead a team to a championship. On the diamond, DJ Stewart hit a 3-run homer, and Brandon Nemo went deep around a bunch of singles as the New York Mets extended their winning streak to 6 games with a 14-2 victory over the Texas Rangers Monday. The 22 hits for the Mets, 5 for extra bases, were their most since getting 23 against Atlanta in 2019. They had 5 players with at least 3 hits for the first time since August of 2018 at Philadelphia. Reach out to me anytime across the board on social media at Matt Ray Talk. More on the way on this Tuesday morning. We are just getting started. Grab the coffee. Let's go. You got America's First News.
Breaking news first.
America's First News. We'll be right back.
Can you believe all the recent
All right, here we go. What do we got here? 5 minutes. Local traffic report. Yeah, right.
America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most. Some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials giving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request
Freedom over chaos, because it's just chaos everywhere.
Dial 800 USA. That's 800 USA. Request your free support your local police info.
7 seconds, Adam.
800 USA.
And good Tuesday morning to you. It is Tuesday, June 18th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Nevada City. Currently, it is 56 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today. Very nice 80 degrees out there. And hey, let's talk about another event that's happening. Speaking of Nevada City, the 37th annual Sierra Storytelling Festival, that's happening Friday, June 28th and Saturday, June 29th. What the heck is this Sierra Storytelling Festival? Well, I'll tell you, it is going to be, it's called the Queen of Storytelling Festivals. It's the 37th annual Sierra Storytelling Festival. It's going to be held the last weekend in June. It's June 28th and 29th. It's a Friday and Saturday. It kicks off with a thought-stirring workshop at 1 p.m. and concludes with Happy Hearts, Faith in Humanity, and Full Souls on Saturday night. That's a big promise. Let's see what all is involved. The festival provides opportunities for the amateur to tell, for children to be delighted, and for some of the best national circuit tellers to share with their treasured audience. If you enjoy listening to a good story, then this event is for you. Who doesn't enjoy listening to a good story? I love a good story. Our storytellers will entertain listeners of all ages with tales from around the world and close to home. You can bring friends and family, picnic on the lawn, slow down, turn off the phone. That sounds like a great idea. Great idea, actually. And soak in the stories of world-class tellers. You can find out more at SierraStorytellingFestival.org. You can also get your tickets there. SierraStorytellingFestival.org. You can also call 530-265-2826. Again, 530-265-2826. Or again, go to SierraStorytellingFestival.org. Again, it's going to be Friday and Saturday, June 28th and 29th at the school, where we got to figure where it is. Oh, the North Columbia Schoolhouse. That is in Nevada City. Again, the North Columbia Schoolhouse Cultural Center in Nevada City. Back with more after this.
Geriatrics, relationships, and more. Out of all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and politics.
Okay.
The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
With California Ag Today, I'm Haley Shipp. This is the Ag Information Network.
I am Haley Shipp. She did a I'm instead of an I am.
Tom Vilsack says the virus has differing.
Didn't do the contraction.
On the poultry side, we're dealing with a virus that kills. So it's relatively simple. You depopulate the virus-stricken flock, you disinfect the facility, wait a bit, and then the farmer gets back in business. That is not the case with reference to dairy. The good news is that cows rot. They get sick for a period of time, short period of time, they recover. Maybe their production is impacted a bit, but for all intents and purposes, they get back to normal, and that's a good thing.
He says it's important for the public to know that drinking milk is safe, and says his agency has
Is it though?
to control the virus.
What if you're lactose intolerant? I don't know that drinking milk isn't necessarily safe, my guy.
Ding, 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 assistance with the veterinarian costs that are associated with sick cows. We're making sure that as samples are taken, that farmers are not incurring additional expense for the mailing of those samples. We're making sure that as they dispose of milk, to do so in a safe way. If there are costs associated with that, we want to be in a position to help.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who serve their families for another 50. Today, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network.
I am Haley. There it is. 10 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:50 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, well, at the top of the hour, we're going to go to the Meddlers meeting, as we do every Tuesday during the 7 o'clock hour. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Washington, where President Joe Biden is planning to announce a sweeping new policy today that will get the threat of deportation for hundreds of thousands of people.
See if my wife is still here.
An aggressive election-year action on immigration that has been sought by many Democrats. They've announced that new program at a White House event to celebrate the Obama-era Dreamers Directive that offered deportation protections for young undocumented immigrants. The policy will reportedly allow roughly 490,000 spouses of U.S. citizens an opportunity to apply for a parole-in-place program, which would shield them from deportations and offer them work permits if they've lived in the country for at least a decade, according to multiple reports. The New Jersey Democratic power broker George Norcross was charged Monday with operating a racketeering enterprise, threatening people whose properties he sought to take over, and orchestrating tax incentive legislation to benefit organizations he controlled. Norcross, seated in the front row during a news conference by Attorney General Matt Platkin, angrily denounced the charges, calling Platkin a coward and demanding a speedy trial.
This indictment alleges that a group of unelected private businessmen used their power and influence to get government at the state and local levels to aid their criminal enterprise and further its interests. Through their alleged acts, the Norcross enterprise was able to obtain the rights to build multiple buildings and obtain hundreds of millions of dollars in government-issued tax credits, among other benefits. They allegedly did this with the complicity and acquiescence of various state and local elected and appointed officials who turned a blind eye
She's
to
asleep in the car.
people of New Jersey to instead serve the interests of a powerful few. The state alleges that George Norcross has been running a criminal enterprise in the state for at least the last 12 years. This alleged conduct of the Norcross enterprise has caused great harm to individuals, businesses, nonprofits, the people of the state of New Jersey, and especially to the city of Camden and its residents. That stops today. With this indictment, the state of New Jersey intends to hold the Norcross enterprise accountable for the crimes alleged to have been committed by its members.
The charges against the 68-year-old and 5 others count as New Jersey's already under a political and legal microscope, with Democratic U.S. Senator Bob Menendez on trial on federal corruption charges. Platkin, also a Democrat, cast the charges as law enforcement cracking down on wrongdoing. Norcross tried to claim it was a personal vendetta.
I'm going to go to trial in 2 weeks. We are prepared. They will delay. They will have all kinds of excuses of why they won't do this. Because this is all about a smear campaign. What I'm also saying is there are going to be scores of people here. They're going to identify and testify as to the motives of this stuff. Who, when I finished listening, I said to myself, where's the beef? Where is the beef here?
What did you aim to do coming today? What was the reason you came?
Because I was a witness in
an extraordinarily embarrassing and outrageous comment from a government official who stands up there and tries to act like he's holier than thou. I've outlined 3 or 4 things this guy's been involved with since he was Attorney General. And there's more to come and a lot more that's going to be presented.
North Coast, the executive chair of the insurance firm Connor Strong and Buckaloon, have been widely viewed as among the most influential unelected Democrats in the states. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says the cost to repair the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which collapsed earlier this year, could range between $1.7 and $1.9 billion. President Biden has pledged that the federal government will foot the bill, but that suggestion has been met with some backlash from Republicans. That morning, I know people are saying this could take 6, 9 months, up to a year to clear the federal channel. What many people said was going to take 11 months. We got it done in 11 weeks, and it's because we worked together. And so the fact that the Port of Baltimore is reopened, the fact that the full federal channel, 700 feet by a 50-foot depth, has full access, it's an extraordinary accomplishment.
And the federal government has provided some support here too. I've read reports that the cost of rebuilding the bridge could be nearly $2 billion. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I can say the Biden administration has been phenomenal partners. So we know the estimated cost could be between $1.7 and $1.9 billion. And the reason that we are urging a federal cost share and a 100% cost share is just simply because we have to move quickly. And I need to get this done on time and on budget. We know that in order to move fast, we've got to get that 100% cost share. So we're spending time working with members of both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans. But to know that if we can work together in this moment, we are going to get something really important for the American economy done.
Well, Congress would still need to sign off on that. And President Biden has pledged, as you just mentioned, to use federal dollars to rebuild. But we are getting very close to an election. Do you believe that you will get that support and those funds appropriated before we see a possible change in administration?
I've been incredibly encouraged by the amount of support that we've received from both Democrats and Republicans, and I do feel confident we are going to get this done.
More making remarks to CBS's Margaret Brennan. The shipping lane into the Port of Baltimore fully reopened last week, more than 2 months after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed in March. The bridge had fallen after a massive vessel struck the bridge, causing the port to close. Vincent Railway must pay nearly $400 million to a Native American tribe in Washington state, a federal judge ordered Monday, after finding the company intentionally trespassed when it repeatedly ran 100-car trains carrying crude across the tribe's reservation. U.S. District Judge Robert Lanza
All right.
initially ruled last
One news segment down.
deliberately violated terms of the 1991 easement with it. So
Now,
Seattle allows trains to carry no more than 25 cars per day. The judge held a trial earlier this month to determine how much in profits Vincent made through the trespassing from 2012 to 2021 and how much it should be required to disgorge. The U.S. stocks rose to records Monday as gains for tech kept pushing the market higher.
Hey,
The gains have
Medlars?
offset pressure on the stock
Who's our
market,
speaker?
causing
Tony?
rising decline erased some of the slack created last week. Reports on inflation raised hope that the Fed Reserve will cut interest rates later this
Right.
year. Fed President
Always the crapshoot to see when they let you into the meeting.
We've been restrictive on our monetary policy. We've seen really good progress over the last couple of years on inflation. We're not there yet,
Today's Sushi, International Sushi Day.
move a day and be happy that we're starting to see inflation move back down after stalling a bit in the first part of the year.
Did the last couple months of
Sushi related dad jokes.
inflation reads were maybe just an aberration?
35 funny sushi puns and jokes, 20 sushi jokes, which will have you rolling on the floor. Lincoln, new tab.
Really, I mean, you take the data as it comes. You know, we had a stronger economy.
Why did the sushi rolls?
Some balancing between supply and demand. You're gonna get
What's a cat
wins,
favorite
and you have to
cat's
take the
favorite
data as
sushi
it
roll?
comes in, which is why
Tempura.
meaning that we take the data, we think about what it means in terms of the trajectory of inflation. And
Why don't
so
Wookiees like
we
sushi?
set our
It's a
policy
bit
to
chewy.
calibrate to that. So I didn't really change my view about inflation, but it is welcome to see that inflation is moving back down again. We'll just need to see that continue a bit longer.
Whoa.
With healthcare costs.
Oh, Cindy.
Yeah. My still chat there? Yeah. Oh.
That's your sign up line? Is that where you sit now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're having. I'm glad I get to hear your appreciation.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna.
And, okay, we're going to join me in the flag school. Legislated that I of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, I'd like to welcome you to our Chamber of Commerce Economic Forum. That's what it used to be called traditionally. It's become the Methodist. And I'm Chris Johnson. I'll be filling it in today for Steve. And I guess he's on his phone. So at any rate, we'll start the meeting with a couple of announcements. So Alice Dowd Cabello would like to say something to us.
I would. Thank you so much. So I'm going to kind of stand over here. Can you see me? Hi. So I'm Alice Dowd Cabello. Wow. Hi, everyone. I'm on our city council, and it's my pleasure to be here in person. I'm usually here participating via Zoom, and so, but with today's announcement, it's only fitting that I be here in person, so I'm very pleased to do that. The last 4 years, the city has faced numerous challenges. We had to go through COVID, and we had significant staffing issues multiple times. And severe wildfires. In fact, Placer County saw its worst wildfire just a couple years ago. And now the city is facing a deficit. But we will get through this challenge. But what's most important is that when we face challenges like this, do we elect leaders who have the necessary experience to pull us out? Not only to ensure that the city can survive the fiscal challenge, but come out and thrive. I have 37 years of experience, both in appointed and elected office. I've served at the state level and at the local level. I'm just finishing my third non-consecutive term on the city council. I was first elected back in 1998, and when I made that decision to run back in 1998, it was in this very room here, the Rose Room. And every decision subsequently has been before Medlars. And so that's why I want to make sure I was here to let you know that I am going to run in November. And I hope that I can count on your support. So thank you. I've been very fortunate with a tremendous amount of support. Councilman Mike Holmes, Supervisor Gustafson, thank you very much for your support, and many others. I do have a website. It's votealice.com, but please, it's undergoing updates, so bear with me. And you'll hear more about my campaign in the days and weeks to come. And I know that I'll have the opportunity to speak before Medlars in the coming months. So with that, again, I'm very proud to make the announcement, and I hope that I can count on your support. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the program.
All right. One more announcement. Where is Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones is hiding back here. Okay, see you in the camera. Well, I don't look as good as that. I'm assuming you're running for city council?
Yeah.
Okay. You are Tom as well? No. I don't have the time that you people spend, including this lady here, Cindy Gustafson, our supervisor. Her fundraiser is this Friday. It's going to be at the Dwelly Hangar out of the Auburn Airport. It's $100 by yourself. Bring a guest. Total bill comes to $150. Like to have you support her financially. We need to buy the airtime. We need to buy all the stuff you have to do in a campaign. She's not here because she's doing what she usually does. She's out representing us at meetings, hearings, and door to door, so to speak. Great supervisor, worth your support. Thank you. Let me see, Mr. Holmes. You have Mr. Mike Holmes. I see we got two Holmes here. Do you have anything to add?
I normally do, but I just want to mention that tomorrow is Juneteenth. The city hall will be closed, so
okay. All right. Well, we'll remember that. Okay. So
save the budget, we close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at this time, we'll turn it over to the city. John.
All right. So, happy Father's Day, Happy Father's Day, everybody. It's good to be here. This
Home insurance is a work for you. It takes one quick call to 916-339-7070, and in minutes you'll see what Homer can do for you. Call right now.
6 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:06 a.m. We are going to go in and cut into the Auburn Meddlers meeting, the Chamber of Commerce meeting, as we do every Tuesday during the 7 o'clock hour. We're getting updates from the city from City Manager Sean Rabe. Let's go there now.
So what that does, the council raises that we're due to our employees effective July 1st. That total amount that we're saving by canceling those raises is about $235,000. I talked about the budget situation that we have, and we're going to talk about that as well. Currently, this upcoming fiscal year, our deficit with that action will be just under $1 million. We're balancing that using reallocation of ARPA money and reserves, but deploying in this fiscal emergency lets us use less reserves, which is important. We want to be able to save that money as much as we can. And to put that into perspective, with the action last night, we've used 28% of our total amount of reserves to balance the budget since 22-23. We didn't know that we were using reserves and to balance 22-23 because of issues with auditing and all that stuff. So that's all on track. Audit will be presented to council at the next council meeting this week, I believe. It might be the first meeting in July. So that's all moving forward. Still need to address the ongoing structural deficit, which is our biggest concern at this point. It's about $800,000, even $35,000. We'll start taking actions in the upcoming months to resolve that and get that addressed. There's not going to be a one-to-one decrease by implementing the fiscal emergency for the structural deficit, right? So we're canceling the $235,000 raises. That doesn't give us $235,000 savings for the long-term structural deficit. It's not a one-to-one, but it does help a little bit with that. We're still waiting for the new numbers for that structural deficit. And my thing with addressing this structural deficit is, I don't want to go into this like a sledgehammer. I think that we need to be very careful about what we're doing and look at it with a scalpel approach, right? I do think that there's going to be impacts to staff, try to minimize those as much as possible. But I don't think we're going to be able to manage that doing that. Also looking at revenue enhancement, obviously, address that revenue side. We talked a little bit about the reason for this. Part of it is our PERS costs have gone up, so we actually did a PERS obligation bond to decrease our ongoing liability, basically refinance that PERS debt. That from like 7 or 8% to I think it's about 2 or 3%, which is obviously a good thing. That was supposed to superfund us for, I don't know, multiple years, and it worked for about a year because when I first can't figure out their investments. So now we have a first payment that's come up this upcoming year for about $300,000. We actually thought that we'd be saving $800,000. So those two up, it's about $1.1 million swing in what we thought we were going to be doing. And then honestly, the other thing that we did, we hired about 25 people in 2 years at the same time that revenue was dropping. So we need to basically right size our organization again and start recalibrating what we're doing as a city. Maybe a question about that later. Sir?
Are you referring to the layoffs or maybe cutting weekly hours, cut down instead of 5 days a week, 4 days a week?
We're not going to do furloughs because that doesn't fix the structural problem. It's just a temporary savings, right? Eventually, we got to bring people back. So we're hoping to get there through attrition. We'll see how that goes. But I also don't want to wait until May of next year to fix this problem. And so we're going to be judicious about how to go do that. But I think that we are going to be looking at some sort of reduction. I'm not sure what that's going to be. We haven't been able to talk to department heads about how that's going to work out.
Typically, I've always been in the past for public works, one of the departments that are hit. That's one of the departments where the citizens really see the work that's being done by those guys out there in the yard. So put that one on the back burner, laying off people in public works. The guys with the rubber meets the road.
Yeah. That's part of the thing about the scalpel versus the sledgehammer. Because for example, I can cut 100% of our sewer department, and that's going to be nothing against that $850,000 structural deficit because it's an enterprise fund. It's not a general fund, right? A lot of the public works guys were street or roads or sewer or whatever. So I can't just say everybody has to cut 10%, 5%, whatever, and that doesn't give me what we get. We need to be more careful about what we're doing. So we'll work through that. It's going to be painful, but we'll get through it.
What is the percent? What is the total budget of the city of this deficit? Represents what percentage?
Total budget that we're looking at upcoming is about total budget is about 20, just under 30 million, I think. Maybe a little less than that. General fund is about 19 million. The structural deficit now is 850,000. I don't know what that percent is. 5%. Yeah. And previously when we thought that the coming fiscal year, so 24-25, we thought that was 1.9 million. We were able to cut one-time spending down. Department heads were kind of able to plan themselves to do all that. So that represented 10% deficit over our general fund deficit. But we've been able to get that down to 700 million. So. Next up, red flag warning. So from fire season now, there's right now red flag warnings up in Newcastle. I don't know if it's spread up in Auburn or not, but last night it's not. So last night it was up in Newcastle. It stayed about the same.
Close it out.
Yeah. So you all know, what red flag warning means. It means that the critical fire weather conditions are either occurring now or shortly, with a combination of strong winds, low relative humidity, and warm temperatures that contributes to that extreme fire behavior. We actually deployed, fire department deployed this morning at 2 o'clock as part of the Classic Heavy Strike team with the Arrow Fire in Calaveras County. I don't know, I just got that from the chief. I'm not sure how many folks we actually had out, but we do have an engine that's gone out before the fact, or at least the team that's gone out. So just be careful about what you're doing. I know we need in the middle of the afternoon, dry grass and all that stuff. Be careful with that. Last week I was invited to speak with some of the city limits when I was there in Moscow. And so that's kind of a cool thing. I was able to meet with people from Georgia, Texas, Illinois, Virginia, South Dakota, Tennessee, across the country. One of the ladies I met from Texas, and I started bonding over barbecue. And she ended up inviting me to the dinner that they had in Rancho Cordova. Mayor Rancho Cordova was actually the president of the National League of Cities. So I was able to go to this farm that's in Rancho Cordova. I had no idea that was there. I had this kind of farm before Benny Pack Mulvaney, the chef from Sacramento, was the chef there. So I got to eat free, which is always nice. I don't know that. But just like, it was interesting because we're all small cities and everybody's kind of facing similar problems, right? Like trying to figure out how to balance budgets, what services. This lady in Texas is apparently like the head of their economic development, like Link, even though she's a council member. So serving almost as a staff role, which is interesting. No ideas.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. And lastly, got a bunch of events coming up. So I'm sure our esteemed supervisor Gustafson is going to talk about this, but tomorrow we have coffee with Supervisor Gustafson and me. This Wednesday at Depot Bay at 9 a.m. I'm not sure how I rose to the level of being invited, but I did, so I'll be speaking at that, answering questions that people have. Party in the Park at ARD Regional Parks is Friday, and then we have the Western States Endurance Run coming up on June 29th. The barbecue is 26th. So this will be the first time that I was able to go to the barbecue last year, but the first time that we're able to attend it. So that'll be really interesting. Lastly, 4th of July is still moving forward. We have a meeting this afternoon to talk about that. So we'll see ahead on the Chambers event at Railhead, and the other event, the Fairgrounds Saturday, Fairgrounds itself. And then the parade is still moving forward as well. So Earl and I and some other folks can be this afternoon to talk about that.
City manager, you have another pretty important meeting on Wednesday to talk about that.
We're going.
Chat with the city manager and the supervisor.
Yeah, I guess you did.
Oh,
yeah. So at Depot Bay, 9 o'clock between with Supervisor Gustafson and I'll be there. Chatting with folks. No, most of the probably just listen.
Are you buying coffee?
Are you buying? I usually I will.
Nobody buys. We buy coffee.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:16 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. We're going to take a break from the Meddlers meeting now to show some love to our advertisers. We will come back to the Meddlers meeting right after this.
Shouldn't stop you.
But we'll be covering current plan development, homelessness, housing, public safety, fire safety preparedness, road work, and any other hot topics. So please tune in. Bridget has the link. I don't have it in front of me, but it is 6 p.m. tonight on Zoom. And then last week we talked a bit about the power outages in South Auburn. And PG&E, we got back to several of you, but I wanted to make sure everybody heard. They do think it's from some of the upgrades they made and their underground work, and that there's something wrong, and it continues to trigger off when it shouldn't. The enhanced power line safety settings, there's some sort of anomaly. They're trying to figure it out. Brendan says it's the highest priority right now. They realize it's been extremely inconvenient, and they've continued to have those outages. So hopefully they get it corrected. But please let us know if any of you are still experiencing.
Farm Supply and our knowledgeable staff will get you started. We've got
Continue to keep the pressure on PG&E to get that worked out. I had lunch with Cheryl Mackey last week, and she was talking about 6 hours.
ideas for all your critter and farming and ranching needs.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:18 a.m. We're going to go ahead and go back to the Auburn Meddlers meeting, the Chamber of Commerce meeting, as we do every Tuesday during the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to go ahead and hear updates from Placer County Supervisor Cindy Gustafson. Let's go back to the meeting now.
That by her untimely death, but really appreciate all the support, everything everyone has done to recognize Jackie. She's an incredible woman and leader for our community. We also, at the board meeting, approved a proclamation establishing June as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. We had an update from Plaster Mosquito and Vector Control District in which they made sure we were aware that we do have West Nile in California, and to report any dead birds that you see. Use plastic gloves, bag them up, write dead bird on the bag, and they will come pick them up, call mosquito abatement. They will come pick it up and test it, just to make sure if we're seeing West Nile in our area. Also, a reminder, tick season is here, and both mosquitoes and ticks are quite an issue for this part of the county. We had a presentation from our Plaster Artist Tour from last year. It was the largest tour on history in their history, and that was the 30th anniversary, with 116 artists participating at 83 locations. So they estimate over 6,000 attendees over the 6 days, and over 451,000 in local art sales. So it was a great presentation, and they're looking forward to their November art tour this year, hoping to build it even bigger and better. We also had an update from the Placer County Youth Commission. This is the conclusion of their year of service, and talked a lot about the programs that this particular group chose to work on. The Free Your Mind, Free the Air, and a couple of their other projects were financial literacy, which we thought was a great program on how they can help youth be better educated on, sorry, I've got my pages out of order here, on financial awareness. And then we also had an update from Astound Broadband. They're the group that the county selected through an RFP process to do a lot of our new broadband installation using the federal dollars we've received, and the county has contributed some general funds. So the big projects coming forward on Project 3 include Auburn and North Auburn, and we hope to have 11,000 homes completed by 2027. So working on getting those bids completed and those projects designed and out for construction in the next 2 years to see that we have all that done. We're currently working in the Penryn area, and that should be completed by the end of this summer. So I'm not sure of the exact timing because they're going to be working in Sheridan, Newcastle, Loomis, Auburn, North Auburn, Meadow Vista, and Folsom Lake Estates. So as we get closer to it, we'll know when they'll be working in Auburn, North Auburn, and give you that update on that. We also approved the special elections ballot for the sales tax in Roseville, Rockland, and Lincoln. Put that on the ballot. PCTPA will be administering those, but the county had to do a resolution calling for that special election. We also approved or recommended our budget. We'll make the final approval next week, but that was to approve our budget and Daniel did a great job with that last week. But if you have any questions, let me know. But that's a $1.2 million budget. The good news was that, and I want to make this point clear, our operating budget only went up about 1% for just over $800,000. So of the 1.2, quite a bit is still capital, and the rest is operating. We also did some fee increases for Newcastle, Penryn, and Placer Hills Fire. Approved those fire facilities impact fees. So as new people apply for permits, those are the fees that they collect from new construction, and provided direction to our staff on our own Placer County Fire facilities impact fee. And then ran up after our board meeting, to attend the Western Governors Association with me, and between California and Nevada, in Nevada. So I'm on a first governor of Nevada. I don't know that the California governor knows me by name, but he wasn't there, and the Nevada governor looked at me and, Cindy, where's your governor? He should be here. He had been there earlier at the Western Governor, but I made sure the governor knew I wasn't the boss of our governor. But I was pleased that he was there, and there were governors from North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Oregon, quite a turnout, and then of course a lot of their staff, and they were touring the Lake Tahoe area and meeting at Everline. So it seemed like a great meeting. I was only there for the reception, and so it was a good event. But along with that came Secretary Buttigieg's deputy, Evan Wessel. The next day we toured him throughout the Tahoe Basin and talked quite a bit about transportation projects in the basin, specifically Placer County. Also talked quite a bit about rail, increased rail up to Sparks, Nevada, and trying to expand the third track and getting more service through the Auburn area up to Western Nevada for the amount of freight we're carrying on Interstate 80. We believe that Secretary Buttigieg will be trying to make a visit to the Tahoe area this summer for the federal summit. We don't know that, but with Evan coming to tour with us and spending a day, it seems likely that might happen, and we'll get the opportunity to talk with him again about really looking at federal investment in our Interstate 80 corridor and Highway 50 corridor. And then last Friday night, had a great turnout at the dinner in the Orchard for the Placer Breast Cancer Foundation. Carol Garcia puts that together every year. And of course, Mandarin Hills Orchard is just a wonderful place to sit out and raise funds for our Placer Breast Cancer Foundation. Michelle Kingsbury with our county, many of you might know Michelle, has been promoted to Deputy CEO. Her working title is going to be Specific Plan Administrator, but she'll be paid at the Deputy CEO level and recognized as a key part of Daniel's team. She'll be specifically working on the larger developments in Western County. Michelle is incredibly talented at tax share agreements and fee agreements, and I'm really pleased to recognize her leadership in this area and move her up in the organization of the county. And I think that's
26 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:26 a.m. If you're just tuning in, we're listening into the Auburn Meddlers meeting, as we do every Tuesday during the 7 o'clock hour. We're hearing updates from Placer County Supervisor District 5, Cindy Gustafson. Let's go back to the meeting now.
June 26th, Zoom. And for those of you with local businesses, their focus is going to be on business insurance. Of course, we're going to have coffee with our city manager tomorrow morning. I appreciate it, Sean. I think it's just a good opportunity for us to be out on the street and talk to people who may not come to all of these meetings that we tend to attend. And we've had great turnout across the county when I've done this and met with others from the local communities. So looking forward to that. I mentioned the town hall tonight. Next week, the board will be meeting in the Tahoe area, and we have a long list of Eastern County items. So again, I'll be on Zoom next week for Meddlers because we'll be meeting Tuesday up in Auburn or in Tahoe. And that's it. So I'm happy to answer questions. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, we'll let you off easy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go to our speaker, Marty Renzi, and you work for Placer County Water Agency, and I think you're going to talk about filtering today, right? Sort of? Yeah, I'll take, you want me to take it with you? Yeah, you're in charge. No, okay. But that would be. Oh, I don't know if we'll take that. And I do have a co-speaker, actually our main presenter is Sutton. Okay. Sutton, I'll tee things up and then kind of, and then when that happens, I'll turn the screen so you might okay, sure. Okay, by way of introduction, I'm Tony Ferenzi with Foster County Water Agency. I'm our Director of Strategic Affairs. I've been there a long time, for about 20 years now. Well, actually, for 20 years. And most of that time, I ran our engineering department. But in the last few years, I've got involved in strategic affairs, which gets involved in government relationships, legislation, and also special projects. And it's a special project this is what I'm doing this morning. This project is a biomass facility. So biomass is material that we pull out of the fuels reduction projects, wood chips, that kind of thing, that comes from our fuels reductions efforts, which I'm sure you're aware of. So we plan on a biomass to energy facility at our site in Colford. It's right by it's at our, if you've seen it, we have an old Victorian home there called the Howell House. We also have a pump station, which I'll describe in a moment, also right adjacent to the city of Oakland. So to provide a little bit of context for this, though, I'd like to go back to the American River. So for as long as I've worked at PCWA, we've been working on developing our American River supply. Certainly all of you are aware of the site, the historic Auburn Dam site. Don't even need to do a show of hands. I'm sure you've all seen aware of PCWA's project that we finished in 2007 and put online in 2008. The new American River pump station that we built there. And we have been using that facility to some extent since that. But the ultimate plan for it is take that water and put it in the plan over the water treatment. I've been talking about that water treatment for a very long time. It's been delayed because of reception and then again because of drought. We finally know we expect it to come online by 2030. I don't see anything to the right at this point. So we're moving forward with the final design right now. We're hiring a contractor in 2025. That takes place around 2026. That project will go on for 2 or 3 years. And so the way the way to connect the dots here. So our American River pump station gets water out of the river. It's about 200 feet in elevation. That's 3 miles all the front. Goes under all. We're going to the city right about here. And that's what the daylights and all of the weeds. So we do send that water off. But I mentioned, right by that, the Howell House there, pump station. So we have these pumps that go 200 feet down over. My hands here. So kind of see that. So in over, we have a pump station there, and the shafts go 200 feet down to that tunnel, water up to ground level. So that's where the sort of water works. The treatment plant will take the water from that pump station, treat it, and send it off, everywhere you pass all in there. So that's the plans for the treatment plant. Well needed to serve the growth needs of Foster County. They're also, we are sort of in a pinch. We only have one very large treatment plant. So it's going to be on the good side of the lead. Our operators hopefully understand the needs for the redundancy of water systems for all of us to have a second meter source of water. So that's the plan. So how does that connect with biomass and energy? Moving water 200 feet out of the tunnel and then treating filters and pumping it in. That's $2 million a year energy bill. And that's in today's rates. And there's talk about Presented reliability. PCWA has been subject to PSPS outages that I'm sure you all are subject to in your homes. Wire facilities. So for both the cost installations and also PCWA looking for energy solutions. That was the vision. Looked at options from solar panels provided with batteries, which are a challenge at sites, giving solar panels to biomass. And early on, we've been studying the idea of biomass energy for years, and realized it's just kind of an upside down. Wood chips just don't have enough energy to just make these projects feasible. And so we were struggling. A couple of years ago, we wanted to keep looking into it. And I should add, PCWA prefers the idea of the biomass type. We're involved in forest health. We also have supporters involved in wildlife. Supporters here around Auburn. And we think that finding good, useful homes for those wood chips is a good idea. So we did one of these. So a few years ago, we started soliciting a partnership with Harvard Energy, which is here this morning. This is a company that has another business proposal or business idea they're working on to not only make energy that's how they monetize wood chips. So, yeah, I said it's not feasible in energy alone. There's other value in wood chips. Energy is. And that's where these kind of projects really need public collaboration. It's not really the public agency's job to go look at these sort of leading edge technologies, speculative markets. That's really important. Our job is to do the best overall service, reliable service. So we're looking for reliable, cheap. A lot of you might be familiar with what biomass is. So it looks like it. That's a very traditional, old school type of bioenergy. So a combustor, a chimney, a boiler. That is not what we are looking to do. So for anybody that's sensitive about all the project impacts of the community, we don't plan on building a big giant smokestack. I mean, there are going to be some of the elements, but not what you see of your property. Much smaller, much less emissions, if any. We are sensitive on noise, all of those things. I just want you to have our commitment that we're not trying to recreate a field off of looking facility in the community. That is not our intent. And one of the reasons, I'll use this to segue into our energy. The reason that we enjoyed working with them is they have been very sensitive, very accepting of those kinds of expectations. We say that we are committed to working with the community. They totally expect, they want that as much as they're looking at private investment, and they're going to exactly get that. So we have found great harmony working with Harvard Energy, and they really work very well. And so with that, I'm going to introduce Seth Golder. He is their head of business development. I probably only got sort of bridge and style thinking. One job is people. Harvard Energy is a fascinating company. These are folks that a lot of their engineers came out of SpaceX. They work in rocket engine technology. Their chief technology officer Surge was actually the developer of the graphic engine. We took that engine from, for the company making like 1 year to maybe 1 day. And I think from taking it from like being $100 million engine to being a $1 billion engine. These people know how to innovate, but not only innovate, how to scale up. And that is really what you need. I've heard that before. A lot of people can invent things, but not everybody can. That's some of the confidence that we have in our energy. And you're probably wondering how rocket technology is there is a question. I don't know how deep it's technical matters with the audience. With that, Seth, are you there?
Yeah, I am. And can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. And then how long do I have? Just like on time to make sure.
No, if you could keep it to like, I would say 10 minutes.
And then can I share my screen or do I need to? Which yours? Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys can see my screen right now?
Yeah. It's flat for a minute, but it's back and it's I think
we're there.
It says over.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Tony, for the introduction. I'm Sutton Bowler, head of business development for Our Energy. Yeah, we're working on here Placer is an attempt for us to leverage our technology that ultimately we hope can bring a lot more revenue to the forestry management activities that are happening and need to happen throughout the state, as well as the county, state, and the broader American West region. Let me see. So, let's talk about the problem. I know this is explaining the problems with people, on the ground experiencing it. But in Placer County, we're starting to see, we have been seeing a huge rise in catastrophic wildfires. When we were first starting to assess various counties for the application of our technology, Placer County specifically stood out because of how you guys have been thinking about it. And specifically from the strategic plan for Placer County wildfire protection, I pulled this quote talking about the real desire to have public and private groups interacting, working hand in hand to solve this, because we have a lot of different stakeholders at the table in these types of projects. And so this public-private partnership is key to the success of the future of any of them. However, the existing solutions that we have around biomass management, which is, as Tony mentioned, taking this waste slash, the non-merchantable products that can't be converted into lumber. We take those waste products and we take them to the Rio Bravo rocklands of the world, where they're combusted in conventional facilities. And while those are the best streams or best ways of managing that biomass currently, there are a lot of challenges. The first is that the transportation and processing costs of this biomass are incredibly high, to the point that it doesn't, in often cases, justify even taking that biomass off the landscape if you can't secure grants from CAL FIRE. That is compounded with the fact that the feedstock itself, this waste biomass, has a poor feedstock power density, which means that once you get it to a facility, it's not going to create that much power. And if that's your main revenue model, it's not enough to offset those aforementioned transportation and processing costs. You also have an inconsistent feed quality. Waste biomass is, by definition, a waste product, and so it's very heterogeneous. You have slash, you have needles, you have bark. From many different species of trees, you're going to have small amounts of dirt entrained in it. And that can be very difficult for advanced industrial systems to handle. And then finally, there are local air quality concerns. Even though combusting this fuel in a power plant is better than letting it burn in a wildfire from an air quality standpoint, those local those power plants are still point source emitters. And especially in a region like Placer County, where air quality is incredibly important, that can be a big concern as well. And so we see addressing these problems as inherent to the solution that you're bringing to the table. And these need to be solved as part of that. So to handle kind of the top two problems, you need to have a system that can generate a much more valuable co-product than electricity. This will allow you to pay more for those feedstocks, which is ultimately the unlock that needs to happen. As a state, the goal needs to be finding more valuable uses for this biomass so that we can bring that revenue upstream, allowing us to pay more for the biomass. right now these facilities are just not paying enough for biomass. As a result, land is going untreated. The land that is treated doesn't have all the biomass removed, and we're not building more processing sites because their project economics are so razor thin. So just the bottom two, those are more addressed on the engineering side, where you have to build a system that can handle a wide array of feedstocks as well as not create these point source emissions now that we better understand these scenarios. And so what we're working on here at Barber is a next generation, what we call BECS system, so bioenergy with carbon capture and storage. And you might be familiar with carbon capture from a facility that SMUD is working on in Sutter County. But if you're not, the high-level idea is that over the course of these trees' lives, they suck down atmospheric CO2 and store it in a physical compound, aka the wood or the woody biomass. As we manage that forest, we create these large amounts of waste. Our plan is to take that heterogeneous waste stream, convert it into power at one of our stations, and then take this
16 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:44 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. We're listening into the Auburn Meddlers meeting right now. We're going to take a break for just a minute and show some love to our sponsors. Thanks so much to our advertisers. We will be back to the Meddlers meeting right after this.
In air conditioning business, the state of California has millions of regulations, but surprisingly,
about $80 to $160 based on the electrical efficiency of your system and the price that you're getting through your BioRAM contract. A bone dry ton of biomass, a lot of these existing facilities are paying around $30 to $40 for. But from some analysis of the markets, we think really needs to be costing around $90 to justify all the work that goes into creating it. If you're talking about getting, $100 of electrical revenue and paying $90 for your fuel, that's not going to close as a business case considering all the other investment that you have to do. And so what Arbor's system allows us to do is bring 2 tons of carbon removal also to the table. As we take this bone dry fuel and we oxidize it, it gains mass. So that's where the 1 ton of biomass to 2 tons of fuel gets to. And that's worth about $170 additional in federally guaranteed credits, and then anywhere from $500 to $1,000 on the voluntary carbon markets. And so our central thesis is that by creating these higher value products, we can bring this money upstream, putting more money into the forestry ecosystem, allowing more land to get treated, and hopefully also kicking off a virtuous cycle where the more land that is treated, the more
shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center.
14 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:46 a.m. If you're just joining us, we're listening into the Auburn Meddlers meeting, as we do every Tuesday during the 7 o'clock hour. Right now, we're hearing from guest speaker today, Sutton Goldner from Arbor Energy in Chris, find some words. In conjunction with PCWA from Tony Ferenzi there with PCWA and Sutton are talking about the biomass project that is coming here to Auburn. Let's go back to the meeting now.
Our buyers look like a lot of tech companies and financial services firms that are looking to offset their own emissions that they can't reduce. So there's this paradigm in the carbon removal space where you want to try to avoid your emissions first, for example, by turning to solar or other forms of renewable power. And then for the remaining emissions that you can't address through those means, you buy removal. And so to date, we have sold credits to the Frontier Coalition, which represents purchasers from companies like Alphabet, Meta, McKinsey, Shopify, and Stripe. We're working on a large carbon offtake deal right now with Microsoft, and going through all the diligence to make sure that as we engage in these activities, we're doing it in a way that's aligned with the community, in a way that's aligned with scientific best practices, forestry management, and a whole host of other items to ensure these projects are really doing what we say they're doing. Let's go through a quick system. Yep.
Just increase the tempo.
Okay. I will then breeze right through our system overview at a high level. Essentially, the rocket engine technology that we are deploying allows for the simple extraction of the CO2, and that is central to the innovation that we're bringing to the table. For existing processes, make it significantly harder to separate out the CO2.
Just an update to show you that this is something that we are physically not just talking on slides. These are some photos from our gasification and oxycombustor testing facilities in Mojave and at Kelly Space. This is developing and now deploying this technology in some of the test stands. And then here's a bit of an exciting photo. Again, it's a bit dramatic, but shows off the igniter testing. We like to call it, given our aerospace background, a vegetarian rocket engine feed with wood. In the functioning facility, that very dramatic flame on the side there will go directly into the turbine where it is generating power. One of the key parts of this system is that downstream of the gasifier, we have no gaseous emissions to atmosphere. Everything is leaving in our water stream, which makes it easy to process or as a solid. But essentially the goal is that outside of emergencies, there is no smokestack. Looking at the path forward, so as Tony mentioned, we're working with PCWA on their plot of land in Ophir. It's a 10-acre site. The project that we are designing there will provide 3 megawatts of electric power behind the meter to Placer County Water Agency to help power their new water treatment facility. This facility will take in about 40 to 55,000 bone-dry tons a year of residue feedstock from the region, and also provide 60 to 75,000 tons of. As mentioned, we've already sold credits from this project to date to Shopify, Stripe, the Frontier Coalition, and Agricultural Watershed. We have won grants from the Forest Service, CAL FIRE, the California Department of Conservation, and most recently the Department of Energy, who themselves have launched their own carbon purchasing program. And then we're also working with a group of external private companies and public research agencies on the technology itself, on the storage side of things. As mentioned, our team has a wide variety of backgrounds. Most of the founding team comes from the aerospace industry. I come from conventional energy projects. On our business development team, Farah was there this morning, hopefully getting out of her business card to folks. She's leading our community engagement efforts and has a background in that. Esteban Araguin has a background in conventional biomass power generation. And Josh, also a background in deploying innovative carbon removal technologies. On the community engagement side, we have been reaching out, and this is one of our many community engagement efforts here. We've been working with a huge host of groups, both from the federal all the way down to the local. We're always interested in talking to more. Farah was there this morning. Again, Tony, feel free to shoot our contact information to anyone who asks for it. But we'd love to get connected with groups, their concerns, and what they're trying to see built. Farah had to run this morning to go to Sierra College, where she's giving a brief talk on workforce development for the same issue. So we're trying to approach this from multiple different groups, not only on the community side, workforce, biomass supply. We really want to understand how we fit into our community here. Working with PCWA has been a great avenue to doing that. This has been on the jobs, and this is on the workforce strategy, which I can skip for now.
Well done.
Questions?
Yeah, you did a good job increasing that there. I just want to emphasize a few points in the questions. I said it, Sutton said it, I'm sort of going to say it again. If you want to use biomass to make energy, with today's expectation, kind of infrastructure that we build, with clean, having a clean, sort of not having a smokestack, that thing, which is a cost-prohibitive project. There's not enough energy to be had out of the wood chip. So you have to do something else. And what Arbor is bringing is taking advantage of federal tax credits for carbon removal, which has a great value. In fact, it's more valuable for the energy itself. So what they're bringing is a revenue stream that all of a sudden creates a benefit to using the wood chips. And I can assure you, as somebody that works in forest health, leaving wood chips as piles up in the forest or in our communities here, and the pile burning in decomposed is not good for that's not overall best use of those wood chips. And so it's a good way to take advantage of another market available. At the same time, getting renewable clean energy at our waterworks. So it's the objective. And something that said, he showed you those pictures of the rocket engines across
material. And it shows this downstream, that would all be in a closed pipe, and there's no emissions out downstream of that location. That's part of the beauty of it. So that's where private-public partnership comes in. PWA can't do this. They know how to go build a test site down in Mojave. They know how to raise venture capital. So with that, I take questions.
Yes, so thank you very much. As you know, the Pioneer Community Energy Biomass is a priority for us, so really happy to hear this. Just wondering what your budget.
So, could I start with just for sure. The relationship, and then second to talk about that. The relationship is PWA the landfill. We have this property, and it's at an ideal location with a few amenities that are harbor. The other thing we bring to the table is relationships. I think PWA generally is considered a good neighbor and a good steward and has good connections to harbor and all of the other obligations on this project line are, so go ahead.
Yeah, great question. So for this technology, since this is a first of a kind deployment, it's going to be rather expensive for this first power plant. And that's why we're working with, so our financing background kind of comes from the venture capital community that's willing to invest resources in something like this that is scalable and quick, just to make sure that, you know, we can get over that hurdle of funding. And we're also working with a lot of DOE and state level offices to help bring funding to the table. We're estimating the cost of a facility like this to cost order of magnitude about $80 to $100 million, which for a 3 megawatt power plant is obviously quite expensive. As Tony hinted earlier, though, based on some of the technological decisions we've made, our components are extremely small. That combustor that you saw is this big. It's about the size of an Nalgene water bottle. And that is capable of moving 3 megawatts net of moving enough gas to process 3 megawatts net of power. And our entire power generation skid would be the size of a microwave or a small oven versus if it were a conventional gas turbine. What that means is that we can 3D print huge amounts of our actual components and machinery, which will drastically reduce future deployment time. And that's kind of some of the same principles by which in SpaceX we got down from, as Tony was mentioning, building, 10 or so Raptor engines a year for $100 million each to 1 a day for $1 million each. So we do expect to dramatically come down the cost curve after this first deployment and after we get kind of our manufacturing up and running.
Are you participating in the biomass program in California?
We are not. So since we're providing behind the meter power to Tony, or not to Tony, but to PCWA, we will not be injecting off the grid or engaging in that program.
Oh, you're not gonna,
it's all gonna be behind me.
All behind me.
Yeah.
Got
It could be adapted in the future for us, but the economics are there.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Is there a question behind you? Or
Yes.
Yes.
What about the cost and pollution of trucking the carbon dioxide down to Sacramento?
So as part of generating the credits, you go through a very robust process that considers a lot of things, right? It makes sure that you're sustainably harvesting the biomass, right? Because the last thing you want to say is, hey, look, we're, destroying forests and it's good for the environment, right? So they make sure that your supply chain is audited, traceable, and trackable. One of the other things that they make sure that you do is what's called a life cycle assessment. So all of the emissions, not only from the transporting of the CO2, but also the transportation of the biomass, the diesel emitted by the machinery as it's harvested, even the emissions of our employees coming to work, are all deducted from the net amount of carbon that we can sell. And so we are building that all into the model, and those are deductions from what we'd be able to eventually purchase. Because of course, we want to make sure that since those activities happened because of this project, we're not ignoring them. So it's all taken into account.
My question connects to Karen's. How do you transport the CO2 from the location to wherever you're storing it, Sacramento maybe, and what state is the CO2 in?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it'll be transported as a liquid in CO2 tankers. So they'll look probably similar to essentially what would look like a gas truck, where it's a big hitch trailer. The site there is really ideal because it's right next to the on-ramp of I-80. So you can go from our site for industrial zoning and then be right on I-80. And yeah, will be truck traffic as a liquid. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here this morning, for me the parts of this presentation. I know that biomass is on county's plate for probably 10 years or more. And I know it's taken a lot of PCWA to get to this for 7 years. So I hate to ask you this question, and I know it's speculative, but how soon before you think we'll get something on that? The timeline for their project is on pace with our overall project, maybe even a little more aggressive. And so I would say that, that this project would be online. You would estimate in 2026 soon, right?
Yeah, it will more realistically be 2027.
And our plan would be online, I had said 2030, but the actual date is 2029. So their project might be a little bit. I think it was something. Sure. With this plant being built in their Newcastle area there, do you find it somewhat more advantageous to put these plants closer to the source of your fuel product, i.e. Forest Hill, Grass Valley, coal plants? And if this plant is successful, could it be used as a model to expand to these other areas? There's two separate issues. I'm going to actually go with the second one first. Yeah, I mean, part of their concept is to scale up and learn from it. That's what you mentioned. Maybe $100 million facility initially, but in subsequent generations, it get down in the tens of millions or millions. And the part of the logic of this particular site is that's where PCWA needs energy. That's where our waterworks are. So they co-mingle the location with that. There are other ideas of let's expand on it in terms of portability, putting these facilities up in the forest and then maybe hauling CO2 instead of biogas. So if you want to comment on any of those ideas.
Yeah, so we've done a bit of trades analysis, kind of thinking through siting. And we think that from an economic angle, there's actually a really big benefit to getting further closer to the biomass source. The state especially is really interested in the applications that something small could have in the context of microgrids or distributed energy generation, putting it close to the source of the biomass. There's also a big benefit from moving and growing and getting closer to actually the point of injection. Moving the CO2 is one of the largest inefficiencies left in the system after we've kind of engineered it. And so we kind of envision a future where you have these smaller systems closer to the communities, providing behind the meter power on small light industrial applications. But then you have large facilities in the Central Valley that are closer, that are on top of the point of injection, where you're directly injecting beneath the actual facility itself. So there's kind of these two ways you can structure it. We don't want to be going to Forest Hill and building a massive facility. That's just not going to be tenable. But we do think that the communities there really want to benefit from, the local, natural, renewable resource that they generate. So we kind of have a two-sided paradigm that we're thinking of moving forward.
And 2 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:02 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. If you're just joining in and you're wondering, what are those voices? What the heck is going on there? We were listening into the Auburn Meddlers meeting, as we do every Tuesday during the 7 o'clock hour, bled a little bit into the 8 o'clock hour as well. We were hearing guest speakers, Tony Ferenzi from PCWA and Sutton Goldner from Arbor Energy, talking about the biomass project that's going on. Real interesting stuff. I didn't understand maybe half of the technical terms going on there, but essentially talking about taking things like the biomass, like wood chips and pine needles and leaves and things like that. And it was interesting. He said that, maybe the best use isn't just to let them decompose and decay in the forest there, which I thought, isn't that kind of the natural order of things? Don't we just kind of, but maybe from also talking from like a fuel standpoint, obviously we've experienced these catastrophic wildfires. So Arbor Energy is this startup, it sounds like they're venture capital funding, talking about coming in and like, how are we disrupting this industry? How are we taking all of this fuel that's out there, maybe sitting on the forest floor, maybe not so good, especially if wildfires are going to come and kick up, and how do we make it into this biomass project and make it into I think he was talking about making it into carbon and to some other fuel that we can then use. And it's just that innovative thinking that pushes things forward and goes like, yeah, there might be a better way to do this, especially with the changing environments that we are in. So always enjoy listening to the Auburn Meddlers meeting, the Auburn Chamber of Commerce meeting. Always interesting to hear the different guest speakers. So pretty lucky to be able to tune into that every week. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it as well. As we're getting started with our day today, I hope you're having a great birthday. If it is your birthday today, my goodness gracious, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. It's going to be a beautiful day out there. We'll check with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to see what our weather is looking like for today and for the next couple of days. But if you have a birthday today, well, you share it with one. Producer Adam, we got to get the clue up here. Maybe you can guess whose birthday you share today with. It's this guy right here, Sir Paul McCartney. Born on this day in 1942. Also born on this day in 1942, Roger Ebert. Siskel and Ebert, you remember those guys? I remember watching those guys and being amazed, even as a kid, of like, these guys made a thing out of becoming movie review critics. How do you do that? How do you get that job? You just get paid to watch movies and then spout your opinion about it? Also, he's a journalist, so obviously there's more to it. Critic, and I didn't know he was a screenwriter. Passed away in 2013, but born on this day in 1942. Let's see. Other musician, Blake Shelton, born on this day. American singer-songwriter, born on this day in 1976. And Bud Collyer, American actor and game show host, passed away in 1969, born on this day in 1908. So, and Richard Boone, American actor, passed away in 1981. Born on this day in 1917, not 70, 1917. It's looking like it's going to be a good day out there. We need to check in with meteorologist Tim Root to see how the weather is looking like out there. Timmy, how are we looking out there weather-wise?
Morning forecast for your Tuesday. Today in the mid-80s, mostly sunny skies. Looks like a west wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, cool overnight, 53 to 59 for the low with light winds. Warm and sunny for Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny in the mid to upper 80s. Thursday is the first day of summer. It'll be hot in the low 90s Friday, mostly sunny skies expected. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
6 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:06 a.m. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about how McDonald's is venturing into the world of AI. That's right, artificial intelligence. Can AI get your order right? We'll check in with that in just a minute. And also, it's International Sushi Day. So if you're looking for an idea for dinner, sushi might be the one. And then just a little bit here, in just a little bit, we're going to have our Tuesday trainer tip from Brad at CAC Fit. My goodness gracious, there's a ton coming up. We'll pause for a commercial break right now. Back right after this.
Hey, so this is my grandson Mike. It's his 18th birthday. Man, wow, one of the best years of my life. When I was 18, ladies used to think I was fine. Yeah, your grandma, baby. He's a smart guy, but I thought he could use a little advice today. So I put in some money. Call your mother. And now you're 18, you need to sign up with the Selective Service System.
Remember James Thomas?
Yeah.
Heard he didn't register and was denied a job with TSA. There you go. That's it. Save money. Call mom. Register with SSS.
Hey, Grandpa, I thought I got that police head that kind of roll up and stop wherever it wants to. That's cold. I don't know what to do with it.
Be the man.
Register with the Selective Service System today at sss.gov. Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frony Bennett and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
9 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:09 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the Chris Hills, of the Foothills, Chris Quant. Here we go. Brain is overlapping words there. Chris Quant sitting here in Studio A, holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI studios. Thanks so much for joining me today as we're getting real settled into our day right now. Before we went to the commercial break there, talking about McDonald's using AI. Well, it turns out it didn't go quite as planned. Headline here from the Morning Brew: McDonald's fires its AI drive-through cashiers. Let's see. Let's see. For the McDonald's will axe the AI voice ordering system in testing at over 100 drive-through locations through a partnership with IBM established in 2021. Restaurant Business reported the decision could be related to some AI-powered incompetence. TikTok is flooded with videos of McD's drive-through AI messing up in ways that a human would never do. For example, one customer got 9 sweet teas added to her order, despite requesting just one after AI picked up on audio from a neighboring drive-through station. So it made me wonder. I'm wondering if maybe Amazon is incorporating AI too. We found from a coworker, I got recommended a little tincture drop to help with allergies. And it said, hey, I got recommended this kind of homeopathic tincture for allergies. You can find it on Amazon. So it really helped me, and it helped my friend maybe, and my wife suffers with allergies a lot. And so I thought, well, maybe we'll do this. So I go on to Amazon and I order, I don't know, it's not very big, one of those little tincture things. It's got the thing and you do the drops in your drink or whatever. And I said, I'm like, we'll give it a try. I order one of them, maybe two of them. Maybe it was a pack of 2. Wait for a couple days, get maybe a week later, maybe less than that. Amazon Prime got the faster delivery, comes in and I get a box. And I'm like, what in the world is this box? I don't remember ordering a box of things. And so my order of 2 little tincture things turned into an entire box. So I have, I think, 13 of these now. 3 of them got crushed in transportation. So they were just kind of shattered in the box there. So I don't know if it was 2 multiplied where they were trying to get rid of these things. It was a clearance sale that I didn't know about, but maybe AI, instead of my 2, upped it to 13. I don't know if it was AI or not. I'm just totally speculating here. But it was really surprising when I ordered 2. And so I panicked. And I thought, oh my gosh, did they charge me for 13? Because I think it was like $20 for 2. Did they charge me for 13 of these bottles? So I go back and I check the charge. And no, it's just for my original 2 bottles. But apparently I own 13 of these bottles now. So we should be good to combat allergies for quite a few allergy seasons coming up here. So interesting as they're thinking about incorporating AI, and we'll probably see it in more and more things around us. I don't think AI is going away anytime soon. But despite AI's recent epic fails and product rollbacks by big tech, many fast food brands are embracing the nascent tech to boost its efficiency. Again, this is continuing with that same article in the Morning Brew. Wendy's is looking to expand its AI partnership with Google Cloud after robot cashiers shaved 22 seconds off the average order times at one of the locations where it was piloted. McDonald's is teaming up with Google to implement AI chatbot Ask Pickles. Now, who came up with that? I mean, it's kind of cute. Ask Pickles to guide employees through tasks, according to Bloomberg. I have a friend of mine who worked at McDonald's back in high school, and he said it was kind of, it got a little confusing if people wanted to customize orders. And there wasn't really a way to do that, but he said it wasn't that hard, but it'll be interesting to see through tasks. We'll see what that looks like. Maybe just to make sure all the burgers and everything, the assembly line is coming out on time. Looking ahead, McD's won't promise that you'll never have to order from a robot again. it plans to continue exploring voice-activated AI technology. So just really interesting to see. I just can't imagine being in there and saying, hey, I ordered a burger and now I've got 10 of them all of a sudden because it overheard the bank next to me talking about the number 10 or something like that. Somebody walks by randomly and does that. I had a coworker that she had Alexa. And Alexa, when we were on Zoom calls, Alexa would pick up our voice in the background. And so we could tell using Alexa, we could tell Alexa to turn off the lights in her house or to order, well, there we go, or to order about 100 number 2 pencils, which then she would shout out and cancel real quick. So I guess maybe just be kind of careful what you're saying around AI. Is that so we just don't get 10 hamburgers? Maybe that's the moral of the story here. But hey, it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:14 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. Now it is Tuesday, and we have partnered up with Brad over at CAC Fit to give us our Tuesday trainer tip of the day. Hey, Brad, what is our trainer tip of the day today?
We need to burn more energy than we are consuming. That's the only way you're going to get rid of fat. There's not one particular exercise that's going to burn the fat off your stomach or off the back of your arms. That was true. It just is not. So if you're looking to eliminate fat in certain areas of your body, you just got to figure out your food, your nutrition, and how many calories you're burning. And we need to make sure that that math works out where more energy is going out than is coming in. Anyway, hopefully that helps you guys. This is Brad from CAC Fit here on KAHI Radio for your Tuesday training tip.
And thank you, Brad. Always love hearing those updates from Brad. So yeah, as we're thinking about getting out there, moving, there's just no easy way to lose that belly fat. So appreciate the advice from Brad. We'll take a break here, and we will be back with your KAHI traffic right after this.
In the afterlife? And how can it happen? Find out on Pop Dog. I heard Jane Pop here. Can you transform your life by transforming your frequency? What's the frequency? Well, 3-1 Pop Dog. And Dean Butler will tell us the real behind-the-scenes stories from Little House on the Prairie. Pop Dog, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m. and Sunday 9 to 11 p.m. and 24/7 KAHI.com. Just click on listen and we'll talk.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:16 a.m. Taking a look outside at our roadways right now. Actually not looking too bad out there if you're coming down I-80 from Auburn going down towards Sacramento. Pretty clear. Starting to slow down a little bit near Madison and Greenback as you're coming to the Cap City Freeway over there. 65 southbound if you're coming from Lincoln over to 80. Looking a little slow there around Stanford Ranch Road and Pleasant Grove Road right there, but not too bad. 80 westbound going over to I-5 looking pretty good right now. I-5 northbound and southbound slowing down just a little bit. So if you're going out to the airport today, give yourself a little bit of extra time. 50 eastbound and westbound coming from Placerville, coming down to Sacramento, looking real good right now. Slowing down about Howe Avenue if you're going all the way down to Sacramento today. 50 eastbound going towards the hill, up towards South Lake Tahoe. Not too bad, slowing down around Alder Creek a little bit further up the hills. Highway 49, if you're coming across the canyon, looking pretty good right now. Doesn't look like we have any traffic restrictions between Auburn or Placerville. Back with more right after this.
Hi, listeners. Producer to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning, along with Matt Ray in America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950
KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Everybody feeling positive where we're at in the country. We all came together.
Tiger Republicans are destroying American democracy.
Yeah, I felt that. Yeah. I felt that this morning. I was getting in the truck. I was driving to work. I was looking around. I'm like, man, the sun is shining.
That is a threat to this country.
I feel the unity.
Clear and present danger.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Sports Ball. We'll take a look at the Major Leagues. A's didn't play yesterday. Yesterday was a travel day, but they're playing again today. I'll let you know when to catch all of the action here on KAHI. Also, wrapping up the NBA season. The finals are done. They're over. Did you catch who that was? Did you catch who won? I'll let you know all about that. And heading over to the Major Leagues, all the baseball scores and the Stanley Cup. Are you into the Stanley Cup, or do you watch the hockey? I feel like that would be a game that's better to watch in person than on TV. I've never actually seen a game, but maybe you have. We'll wrap up all of those sports scores here in just a little bit. Back now to America's First News, and I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour. Okay.
Two of the 9 people wounded in the weekend shooting at a suburban Detroit last night remained hospitalized in critical condition Monday, including an 8-year-old boy who's made progress despite being shot in the head. The child's 4-year-old brother was shot in the leg, and the boy's mother hit in the abdomen and leg during a random attack in Rochester Hills. It was one of at least 4 mass shootings in the U.S. on Saturday and early Sunday.
The young child that had the head wound, he's made amazing progress. Really would be an understatement. That's what family was. 3 things that no family should ever have to face. You've got a family of 4 and 3 are in the hospital. But the beauty sometimes of youth is they've got strength and resilience in their little bodies. He seems to be doing well. We recovered a 9mm handgun, a Glock Model 43 semi-automatic. We've accounted for 36 casings on scene, so 36 shots fired. It appears he had been using about different things, saying, shut your phone off, you're being watched. They are listening to us, walking around the house with weapons, talking about them, listening to them, talking about how the government was tracking.
42-year-old Michael Nash fired as many as 36 times Saturday, stopping several times to reload, according to police. He subsequently went home to Shelby Township, where he killed himself. Police said a motive could be hard to pin down. Nash had clearly been suffering with mental health issues. A man and woman were shot to death, and a male suspected as the attacker also died Monday at a North Toronto office space near a daycare center and school. The shooting prompted a lockdown of both the daycare facility and the Catholic all-boys elementary school, but parents rushed to the area to pick up their children. Detective Sergeant Al Bartlett said the man and woman who were killed worked together in what he described as a financial transaction business.
Approximately 3:25 p.m., we received a call for service in relation to sound of gunshots. Officers attended quite quickly. They entered the premises behind me, where they located 3 individuals. I'm not going to be identifying the individuals any further other than to say they're 3 adults, 2 males and 1 female. The individual responsible for the shooting is among the deceased. I'm going to acknowledge that behind me there's also a daycare and a school. As I'm sure many of you are aware, there was a period of a lockdown here. Emergency task force.
Everybody come along and exercise.
No child was injured. He said there was no access to the between the daycare center and the business. The late parents were seeing hundreds of children reunited just outside the police tank at St. George. South Korean soldiers fired warning shots to repel North Korean soldiers who temporarily crossed the rivals' land border Tuesday for the second time this month. South's military observed increased North Korean construction activities along their heavily armed border to install suspected anti-tank barriers, reinforce roads, and plant landmines. The work has gone on uninterrupted, despite several explosions caused by mines that killed or injured an unspecified number of North Korean soldiers. That's according to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff. According to the Joint Chiefs, around 20 to 30 North Korean soldiers, while engaging in unspecified construction work, briefly crossed the line. Russian President Vladimir Putin thanked North Korea for supporting his actions in Ukraine and said their countries will cooperate closely to overcome U.S.-led sanctions as the He headed to Pyongyang Tuesday for a summit with Kim Jong-un. His comments appeared in an op-ed in North Korean state media hours before he was expected to arrive in North Korea for a 2-day visit as the countries deepen their alignment in the face of separate, intensifying confrontations with Washington. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby.
Yeah, look, no surprise that he went to North Korea after his so-called election. A little nail biter that was. He was going to go on a little bit of a charm offensive here, and that's what he appears to be doing. We're not concerned about the trip. What we are concerned about is the deepening relationship between these two countries. Not just because of the impact it's going to have on the Ukrainian people, because we know North Korean ballistic missiles are still being used to hit Ukrainian targets, but because there could be some reciprocity here that could affect security on the Korean Peninsula. Now, we haven't seen the parameters of all that right now, certainly haven't seen it come to fruition, but we're certainly going to be watching that very, very closely.
Putin said he highly appreciates North Korea's strong support of his invasion of Ukraine. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the U.S. is not concerned about Russia's threats of retaliation as Ukraine's allies move forward with using seized Russian assets to fund Ukraine amid Russia's invasion. Yellen told CBS's Face the Nation it is not that, despite what Putin claims.
Right after Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine, the United States and our global coalition partners decided to freeze, to impound Russian sovereign assets in our jurisdiction. And that amounted to around $280 billion. And of that, the vast majority, around $200 billion, are sitting in a Belgian financial institution where they're generating income that does not belong to Russia and had been accruing to that institution. And we're pleased that G7 and our partners have agreed to tap the value of that stream to provide a $50 billion loan to Ukraine that will be paid from those so-called windfall profits that are accruing in this financial institution. So we're building on work that Europe did earlier to make sure that the flow around 3 to 5 billion a year went to Ukraine. But we're bringing that forward by making a loan that will be repaid over time. There's no sense at all in which it's spent. The Russian assets remain in this institution. They've been impounded. The investments that Russia had have matured. So Russia's funds are sitting in cash, but they're generating income for the institution, which Russia has no claim on.
The agreement marks a significant achievement for President Joe Biden, with the U.S. spearheading the effort to get Ukraine supporters to agree on seizing Russian assets to support Kyiv and counter Putin. Now, the Surgeon General has called on Congress to require warning labels on social media platforms and their effects on young people's lives, similar to those now mandatory on cigarette boxes. In a Monday op-ed in the New York Times, Dr. Vivek Murthy said that social media is a contributing factor in the mental health crisis among young people, saying, quote, "It's time to require a Surgeon General's warning label on social media platforms, stating that social media is associated with significant mental health harms for adolescents. The Surgeon General's warning label, which requires congressional action, would regularly remind parents and adolescents that social media has not been proven safe." And happening today, U.S. lawmakers are expected to press Boeing's chief executive about the company's plan to fix its manufacturing problems, and relatives of people who died in 2 crashes of Boeing 737 MAX jetliners plan to be in the room. CEO David Calhoun is scheduled to appear before the Senate Investigation Subcommittee, chaired by Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Boeing critic. It marks the first appearance before Congress by Calhoun or any high-ranking Boeing official since a panel blew out of a 737 MAX during an Alaska Airlines flight in January. The National Transportation Safety Board and FAA are conducting separate programs. More on the way on this Tuesday morning. We are just getting started. Grab the coffee. Let's go. You've got America's First News.
America's First News will be right back.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. I am Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
In today's troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help with veteran work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, renting or not. Operators are standing by to answer questions about making a tax-deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of the United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580.
10 seconds, Adam.
800-209-4580.
Here we go.
That's
800-209-4580. And good Tuesday morning to you. It is Tuesday, June 18th. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently, it is 69 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high of 82 degrees. There's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it. Starting on the hardwood for the last time, at least for this season, Celtics versus the Mavericks. Celtics win it in 5, beat the Mavericks 106-88. 4-1. Boston won that series. That is the end of the NBA season there, the NBA Finals. Here's looking forward to next year, going over to the Stanley Cup. Oilers versus the Panthers. Game 5 happens tonight. That's going to be on ABC and ESPN Plus at 5 p.m. If you're into the Stanley Cup, if you're into the hockey, be sure to check it out. We'll have the scores for you tomorrow. Heading over to the major leagues, the A's did not play yesterday. Yesterday was a travel day. They will play again tonight. They are going to be hosting Kansas City at home. Radio start time on KAHI tonight is at 6 p.m. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. tonight, so catch all the action here starting at 6 o'clock here on KAHI. A's start a series hosting the Kansas City Royals. Looking elsewhere, Padres versus the Phillies yesterday. Phillies on top there over the Padres, 9-2. Giants versus the Cubbies. Giants eke out a win there, 7-6 over the Cubs. LA Dodgers versus the Colorado Rockies. Dodgers win that 9-5. Moving on, Brewers versus the Angels. Angels win that one 5-3. That is sports. We will be back with your daily dad jokes. You thought I forgot. I almost did forgot. We'll be back with your daily dad jokes right after this.
Tune into AM 950 whenever you want? That's not fair. Have a strict boss that only listens to music and never local news? He's not very informed then, but you knew that. Don't worry, you can get KAHI's up-to-the-minute news information and local advice from our talented KAHI news team anywhere you want now. Follow KAHI on Twitter or like KAHI on Facebook to receive local news updates multiple times a day. You can also download our KAHI radio app at KAHI.com and enjoy details at AM 950 KAHI at any time, day or night.
All right, producer Adam, let's make it quick. We gotta fit them in here. 8:32, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. It is time for your daily dad jokes. Had a couple emailed in here. Patrick H, why didn't Han Solo like his steak? It was chewy. There we go. And from Sarah J, what do you call it when oxygen and nitrogen train together at the gym? Air conditioning. Ooh, that was a good one. Let me read that again. What do you call it when oxygen and nitrogen train at the gym together? Air conditioning. Yeah, that deserves an applause. That is absolutely fantastic. All right, let's get one more on this National Day of Sushi, International Day of Sushi. Why didn't the crab share his sushi? Because he was shellfish. All right, maybe just do one more. Why did the sushi rolls guitar sound so bad? They didn't have a tuna. Oh, that got applause. All right, back with more right after this.
To have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in
Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, your house generator, or maybe your furnaces, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Again, happy birthday to Paul McCartney today, born on this day in 1942. If it is your birthday, and again, happy birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day. And until we meet each other again, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll finish off the hour with America's First News and the O'Reilly Report. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye-bye. Bye-bye? Am I in sync? Bye-bye-bye? Bye-bye? My little kid?
Who had publicly described being sexually assaulted while held hostage in Gaza. Said the story left her fearing much more. Accounts will only increase as more hostages are released. Harris hosted an event highlighting efforts to reduce conflict-related sexual violence around the world, and spoken with Hamid Saad, who was abducted from her home when Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th.
And sexual violence remains a gruesome part of modern conflict around the globe. In Ukraine, Russian forces have raped women in occupied territories. In Iraq, when ISIS seized territory a decade ago, they forced women and girls into sexual slavery as they massacred thousands. My heart breaks for the trauma and pain inflicted in each of these conflicts. And October 7th, last year, Hamas committed horrific acts of sexual violence. And I just met with Amit, a survivor who has bravely come forward with her account of sexual violence while she was held captive by Hamas. These testimonies, I fear, will only increase as more hostages are released. We must speak truth about the prevalence of conflict-related sexual violence against women and girls and men and boys. All of these crimes are too often ignored. The UN estimates that for each